Today's Mercedes-Benz interview of the day brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Celebrate the journeys that bring us closer together. An exclusive offer on a vehicle you'll adore at the Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration going on now through January 2nd. Learn more at mbusa.com/special offers. Always a treat to have Steve Young on the show, the Hall of Famer, 3-time Super Bowl champ. Were you ever benched? Like, Kirk Cousins getting benched now. Do you know what that feeling's like?
I benched. I don't know. It doesn't really. It doesn't ring a bell, Dan.
Okay.
I might have blocked it out.
Okay.
I threw 6 interceptions as a 10th grader in JV, and the coach said that after the game, he's like, "You guys are the worst athletes in the world." And who's he really saying that to? So I was like, I think that was my biggest benching. I don't even know if I got benched after that. I should have been. I threw 5 interceptions at Georgia when I had my first game at BYU, and LaVell Edwards at halftime was like, "You'll be okay. I'm like, "No, I know I'm going to be fine. I'll be great." He goes, "No, you got really now you made me mad. Now you got problems. You got to fix it fast." And but I didn't get benched there either. So maybe I should have been benched a number of times, Dan, but somehow escaped the benching.
What was your best game in high school?
Best game in high school? I don't know. I mean, I know I didn't know how to throw the ball. I just ran around. So we were running the wishbone, and I remember triple option. You make the first fake, and everyone's like, "Pitch it," and I'd keep it. And I was like, "Why don't you pitch it?" Like, it's the second option. Well, don't worry about it. But I don't know. There were some games running all over the place that were fun. But
you went to a passing school.
I had this crazy dream, Dan, that I was going to play in the NFL, and if I was going to play in the NFL, I had to go play somewhere where I throw the football. And even though I didn't know how to throw it correctly, I remember my recruiting trip. I went to Army up to West Point for a recruiting trip, and they played Pitt. And my senior year in high school, and Dan Marino was the rookie, the first freshman quarterback. I remember standing on the sidelines, and Dan Marino threw like a 30-yard bullet out right in front of me, like boom, like that. I was like, "Oh yeah, I got some distance to cover here, because that whatever that is not what I'm doing right now as a senior in high school, man. I got some." And that's why it's so ironic. We went into the Pro Football Hall of Fame together, and I remember thinking back, that is full circle, man, from standing on the sidelines at West Point.
I think Marino, he was ahead of the curve in what he was doing.
Oh, Dan, remember? He'd hold it right here and just shoom. And I spent the next 4 years of my life, I spent throwing the football from right here. My arm hurt. I couldn't throw with any speed, but I was going to be Dan Marino, man. And there's only one guy that could throw it like that.
Your thoughts on benching Kirk Cousins for Michael Penix Jr.?
They've been a little bit unconventional since they drafted Michael, so everyone didn't expect it. But in many ways, there's such a desire to get young, mobile quarterbacks. In the end, Kirk can't get those yards that are out there in the game today. Remember when they changed the rules and they made defenders, they couldn't launch their bodies anymore. They essentially made the game, the field bigger. It's like a Canadian field now. If you think about it that way, the field just got that much bigger in the NFL. And with that space, that's why all these cool plays and all this innovation, all this fun stuff, it's great. And so if you're a quarterback that can't go get those yards, especially in the big games, and I'm talking about leaving the pocket with your legs, calling plays out of the huddle like the Bills do, and Josh Allen walks into the end zone. How hard is it to throw to score in the NFL in the red zone? And the Bills just make it simple because he has this ability now to use his legs, to use his mobility. And if Kirk doesn't have that, now Michael's not the most, he's not the most mobile guy, but at least he can go get those yards. That might be what they're thinking too.
Awkward quarterback situations. Vikings with Sam Darnold. A good awkward. The Jets situation of what do you do? Do you want Rodgers back? And if you're a new coach coming in, the Falcons is kind of awkward if Penix plays well. Yeah. What do you do with Kirk? If he doesn't play well, it's awkward. I offer this one up. Let me start with this. The Niners quarterbacking situation with Brock Purdy coming due. Is that an awkward quarterback situation decision?
Well, I mean, it really comes down to how you see the game today and what I just described to you in the difference between Kirk Cousins and somebody that can move around, take the yards. If you don't have that ability to extend and to push, kind of from your athletic ability just to push defenses backwards, you're going to need more help. That's why Jared Goff last week, he scrambled once and everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's like Josh Allen, but so he can do it, but it's not his game. So he actually in the game today, because of what I just described to you, you need more room. And so you need more help. And so when Josh gets it, let me say it this way. If you have a series, a 10-play series, they score a touchdown. In those 10 plays, if it's Jared Goff, you're going to have 10 plays where you have to call it out of the huddle generally and have it work all the way down the field. So that's hard to do. That's retail football. It's hard to do. If you can do it and you get really good at it, but it's just it's got the degree of difficulty. Where Josh Allen, on the same side of the other side of the ball, he'll have a 10-play drive and he'll score, but 3 of the plays were off script and were easy yards. And you don't have to, it doesn't have to be efficient, doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be timed up. And so all of a sudden, it's 70% of the time you got to play great football, or tactical or efficient football, and the Lions have to do 100%. So you go back to Brock Purdy. He's going to have to. He needs out of the huddle. That's his superpower. Call a play, run it, and then matriculate down the field and throw it into the end zone, and or run it in the end zone. So in many ways, in the game today, you would say, look, I want to make sure that I have plenty of help for Brock Purdy, plenty of help for Jared Goff, plenty of help for Kirk Cousins, and I need money to do that. And so that's where maybe the awkwardness that you're talking about.
Would you want to spend 60, 55,
So that's
$60
what I'm
million?
saying. So if you're going to spend, I think that Dak Prescott, the Cowboys are going to suffer for a long time because they paid him a number that now in many ways takes from the ability to build teams to go help you for the very thing that you need. And so that's the dilemma, because everyone loves Brock and loves his game and loves his efficiency and his leadership and everything else. But we got to make sure we have the money to put the people with him to go win it. Because if the goal is Super Bowls, if the goal is winning some rank and file regular season games, maybe get to the playoffs, that's a different goal. And that might mean different. But if you're talking about, we want to go to the Super Bowl, we need people to be there to help Brock. And if he doesn't, and so that it becomes just how much is there available, and it is a zero-sum game in some ways with a salary cap. And I think I look at how Tom Brady thought about it. Look at how Patrick Mahomes thinks about it. Right? It says, hey, look, I'm cool. I got my money, but I wanted to have plenty of money. And how many times did Tom every year say, look, I'm going to restructure I want plenty of money to get people that can come help me win Super Bowls. And so just with that mentality, it could all get worked out. If everybody says, oh no, I want every last dollar and I have to set the market, that's going to be a complicated, there's the awkwardness that you just talked about.
Well, go back to Dallas. Jerry Jones, everybody lauds him as a great businessman. He has to know what he's doing to the franchise by giving Dak Prescott those numbers.
Yeah, and come on, man, for 30 years. I mean, he has not empowered anyone to walk in the locker room and fire anybody. And so without that power, a coach in the NFL is neutered. And you think about why the Cowboys never reached their potential for 30 years now. Why? Because they're not empowered. So don't tell me now that Jerry made a mistake by paying back. Like you could see that he waited and waited, got desperate right at the end. It's like, okay, let's capitulate. The season's starting. Pay him. Well, okay. But now what have we done? We've overcorrected for something that we should have kind of held the line on. And so to me, holding accountability in the Cowboy system, remember, I've always said, there's America's team and there's something about the team that they show up and they're famous. And I said before, you should take the stars off the helmet and you have to win 10 games to get 1 star. And you have to win a playoff game to get the other star. And now you've earned it yourself. You're not special. You're not, and I don't know. There's something really missing with the Cowboys, and it's been missing for a long time. Number one, get a coach that can walk into the locker room and fire somebody without asking Jerry. That's got to happen yesterday.
You have 2 MVPs regular season?
Yes.
Okay. Where are they?
Do you get a thing?
What do you mean?
Do you get, I mean, yeah, I got them. I don't know. They're around. I don't know. They're not
Oh,
in the house. My kids, I refuse to burden my kids with, whatever it was,
wait.
you know.
So if I walk in your house, I wouldn't know what you did for a living.
No, no, you would not know.
Wait, you should have a statue in front of your house.
Oh, right. I should have you know what? And everyone rubs it on the way in and then bows on the way out. That's how it should work. That's the way to, you know.
Wait, okay. Do I have to, like Carson Palmer's Heisman is in the garage?
Yeah. So mine, so you asked my absolutely the MVP trophies. I'm sure one might be at BYU and the other one might be over at work or something like that. I mean, it's kind of like there's other places in my life where, we can do that, but not not in the house. No.
But do you not want to be reminded?
Oh, every day, man, I was good. Dang, man. Let me go stare at that some more, All I think about is losing to the Cowboys in 92. So where's that? Where do I do that? Do I put that up somewhere?
Does that still hurt?
I throw up in my mouth. You just made me throw up in my mouth. Thanks, Dan.
But you brought it up.
Did I really?
Yes, you just did. It still hurts you to this day that you lost to the Cowboys.
Because I sucked and it just pisses me off. It's like, yeah, move on. Did I do that to myself?
Yeah.
It's Christmas time. Let's be joyous.
Okay, so you have 2 MVPs.
You bring it out in me, Dan. It's your fault.
Do I bring out the best in you or the worst in you?
I'm not sure.
It's content. I'm trying to bring the best content out of you.
I'm not sure. You make me look at myself really hard. I don't know what it is about looking in the mirror with you.
Troy Aikman had a couple of touchdown passes in the game. He outplayed.
Oh, thanks. I want throwing. What other details can you throw in?
And then you lost to Georgia by 3 points when you threw 5 interceptions.
And then when I lost to Charles Barkley and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Celebrity Edition, when I didn't know the definition of crucible, thanks. Wow. All right, whatever else. But I lost to Urkel in the NBA 3-point shootout.
Any other losses that you want to talk about?
Literally, Dan, it was like the ball. He'd take it down here and go like this. I'm like, how am I losing? How am I losing to Urkel? This is not possible.
Damn. Any other losses that you want to bring up?
You asked me about getting benched, and I think you triggered something, Dan. You've triggered something. I don't know. That's it. Those are the big ones.
Like Tampa Bay, you never got benched?
Did I get benched in Tampa Bay? Well, when I didn't get benched, but when Ray Perkins took the job after my full season at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when I was 2-14, and I have never fought and battled, and with other Warriors in my life as much than they earned those 2 wins. He showed up in the offseason and said, "Young, I hate lefties and I hate scramblers," and I'm like, this is a problem. This is a problem.
I'm left-handed and I scramble.
Well, that's the old in today's game. I'm the man, right? This is my game, and no one thinks bad of it. But lefties was a thing. Bill Walsh was the first one that said to me, "Bro, I think being lefty is an advantage, and the fact that you can run around, if you'll learn the skill of throwing the ball in the pocket, the sophisticated part of the game, you can't be stopped." He was the first one that gave me the vision. Everyone else is like, "You're lefty, man. I don't know if I even want to coach you." In college, same thing. I don't know, lefty. You got to play defense. Being lefty was like this curse. It's discrimination, Dan. Something's a problem. How about in the NFL today? Think about this: 10% of human beings, are left-handed, right? 10%.
Yeah.
Are there 10% representation in quarterbacks in the NFL? No, 1. In the last 30 years, name on one hand, you cannot name lefty quarterbacks. There is complete discrimination, Dan. We'll get to the bottom of it in another show.
Dang. Who are you today?
I don't know. It's like Christmas times. I think you said being benched, and I don't know, it just brought up all kinds of stuff.
I'm wondering, Josh Allen seems to have figured it out.
No, I would go the other way. I think the Bills have figured it out. Because Josh, for a number of years, had to play that Superman role over and over and over again. because again, the game is dramatically changed for offensive players to take the space. He would go try to do it because he wasn't getting the help. Now all of a sudden he's getting the running help. He's got offensive line help. He's got innovative play calling, which is much more interesting and cool. And now he doesn't have to be Superman every play. And what's funny about it, the second you take that away, where it's not this burden that he has to kind of do it every play and go do something crazy, and all of a sudden, the more that we get of Josh Allen, that when he does do it, it's like, oh, it's just knifing. It's just, complete capitulation from the defense. They just crushes them. So I would say that the Bills came to Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's gotten better. He's gotten, his sophisticated passing has gotten better. Like, it's all honed, but I think the Bills met Josh at who he could be, just like the Chiefs meet where Patrick is and where every team needs. That's why I say this for Lamar Jackson. Meet him where he is. And they're trying to change the offense to make it less of the most sophisticated running game in America and build a sophisticated passing game. I think they're trying, and at times it's amazing, but now obviously they got to do it in the playoffs.
Let me go back to being a left-handed quarterback before I let you go. Did you put Jerry Rice, would you as a left-handed quarterback want your best receiver on your left side?
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
That doesn't matter. So here's the key is that football is right-handed, so right-handed that they see lefties and the coach is like, I don't know if that I want to, coach you, because then I have to flip everything and I have to teach it differently. That's how simpleton the people in football can be. But if you think about it, because football is so right-handed, everything gets installed right-handed, every play is right-handed as a start, that linebackers now are left-handed, right? Because they're opposite, right? So everything happens to their left. And all of a sudden a lefty comes out and boots left and is on the run. And now, there's a moment, like Bill Walsh, the one that told me about it, is like, you're going to have the flash of reflex from defenses that you're going to take advantage of. And that's why when I see a lefty in the game, I'm like, that's an advantage no one else sees, I guess.
We did the math. Less than 3% of quarterbacks in the NFL are left-handed.
You got a crack staff there.
Yes.
Now that I know that, and look, that's when I found out I was a Dodger. So I mean, this is awesome.
Well, that was Fritzy who made the mistake. Thought that you were.
No, I really loved the last couple of months thinking myself as a professional baseball player.
When we have you on, are we helping or hurting you?
It's awesome therapy, Dan. I really appreciate you bringing me on. My kids are here wanting to walk by because they got to get going. Like, what's the problem? Like, there's all things going on around here. It helps. I love being a part of the Dan Patrick Show.
So all the girls are there?
Well, Summer's right here. Hi, Summer.
Hi.
There you go. You're good. Go by. You're good. She's been waiting and bugging me the whole time. Maybe that's what happened, is that I was distracted this whole time.
Does she care that you're a Hall of Famer?
I think I say to people a lot of times when they say something to me nice out on the street, like, Steve, you are amazing. Oh, you were great. I'm like, would you go home and maybe say that? That'd be helpful.
Around your wife?
Yeah, just tell people like I was really cool, But I'm overplaying a little bit, but because everyone gets it. But I don't want. Look, it's a big enough burden in some ways. Fame is a thief, Dan. Let's be honest. And if you're not careful, fame can take stuff away from you that you don't even notice. And so I think I realized that at some point, and I wasn't going to burden the house with it.
Did you get full of yourself at some point?
Yeah, there were moments. I remember. And
when is that going to end?
Well, it ended fast. I went down. I was in the Super Bowl. We won the Super Bowl, and of course, you're going down to Disneyland because you got to go. Because it wasn't a metaphor to yell into the camera, I'm going to Disneyland. And so you're down there, you're going through, and I remember going down Main Street and everyone's like, Steve, you're the man, you're the king, you're the greatest. And I remember yelling back, I am the greatest. I just lost my mind, man. I laugh about that. I laugh about that even this moment. I'm like, what got into me? Damn. Like, I wouldn't not like me to do that, but I was like, I am, you're right. But then the freaking Main Street was so short that it lasted like 3 minutes, and turned to backstage, and it was over. So yeah, that was cool.
Keep your head up, okay?
Hey, I'm good. I think it's important, Dan, to recognize when you've made the vulnerability when things don't go well and to learn. Ronnie Lott taught me, man, competition is not worth it unless if it's just winners and losers.
Yeah, but he
It's
cut
just,
off a finger.
but I'm just saying competition. Think about this. He said this over and over to me. Competition is not worth it if it's just winning and losing. If you don't give me the space to lose and learn, then I don't want to do it. And so, yeah, I've lost and I'm trying to learn. So there you go. The great Ronnie Lott.
He lost to the Cowboys in 1992. He's Steve Young. And great to have
Dan,
him.
you don't need to, do you need to drive it home now?
No, wait, I
just
thought we were, that was good. Like we're learning
don't
from
ride,
that.
you don't have to ride the crap train. Like you can get off and try something else.
The crap train.
Well, yeah, that's crap.
Okay.
Like,
that's bull crap
like,
is what
I don't want to
is.
live. I want to be vulnerable enough to recognize that I need to learn and, be better, but I don't want to live there.
You want to be vulnerable enough to be vulnerable.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's Steve Young.
Ronnie Lott.
I'll check in with you.
Learn.
I'll check
Lose and learn.
I'll,
but then we'll win next week.
I'll check in with you. All right.
Are you 1,100 million to zero? I mean, if you just dominated every.
Yeah.
Then maybe that's why you don't get it. You're undefeated. That's the problem.
Yeah. You know what? When I lose, I'll call you.
Keep me posted.
He's Steve Young, once again lost in 1992 to the Cowboys. We'll take a break. We're back after this.